Hey guys, it's Dr. Steve. I'm a naturopathic doctor. In my practice, I focus on correcting people's mechanics in a consistent, predictable way that eliminates pain. And I also focus on genetic based nutrition. And so most of the people only come to me when they have an orthopedic issue or when they're sick. And so, every once in a while, it's fun. I get somebody that comes in and they actually care about their health and they want to live longer and increase the amount of time that they live. And so, let's get into that and let's dive deeper. Is that even possible? And so, there's a test out there called the Horvath test, and the Horvath test actually determines our cellular age. So you can have someone that's 50 years old and they might appear to be 60, or somebody who's 30 years old and they might appear to be 55, depending on these certain factors that the Horvath test looks at, and they can actually predict about when you're going to die. So you can reverse that cellular aging process. It's been proven to do so. So our quality of life can improve. Everybody's scared of getting diabetes. They're scared of having a heart attack or a cerebrovascular event. They're scared of cancer. So cancer, diabetes, and heart disease are the three factors that everyone wants to avoid. And those are the three main problems that take people out. So the factors that the Horvath test looks at to determine cellular age, one is going to be, it's going to look at the telomeres. And the telomeres are end caps at the end of the chromosomes. And every time a cell replicates, it becomes a little bit shorter. So each cell doesn't live quite as long. It looks at senescent cells, senescent cells are the dead cells or debris that causes inflammations in the interstitial space between the cells. As it looks at cellular communication, it looks at mitochondrial function, and as cells age, they get their mitochondria don't function quite as well, and mitochondria are the energy or the powerhouse of the cell. There's epigenetic factors that are involved, which is like our genes. There is stem cell exhaustion, and so basically stem cells lose their ability to signal cells to do certain jobs. So there's also proteostasis, and so it looks at how well protein folding happens, and so a protein has to take a certain shape to fit with an enzyme. It's a lock and key system. So in order to perform that function, those have to fit and function properly. If the protein doesn't fold properly, then there's an issue and things malfunction. So it used to be believed that damage to DNA causes us to age, and so evidence now, though, has shown that that's not exactly the case. And so the damage actually comes from our epigenome that turns on and off certain parts of our DNA. And so methylation is responsible for this. So if you want, in the office, this is what I do, is I look at the methylation pathways or the enzyme pathways of how we make antioxidants, how we make hormones. Are we having excessive oxidation occurring because you're not metabolizing fats or carbohydrates properly? So those are the things that I actually get into. And so all that is based so that we can balance out mTOR to autophagy. And mTOR is the building of cells, and autophagy is the clearing of the waste product. So there needs to be a balance in between there. And so in my office, if you bring me a 23andMe test kit, it's like $100. I can actually do that. I can actually analyze it. So for the cost of like $400 or $500, you can actually improve the health of the cell and how long the cell lives. So it is possible. You can do a Horvath test if you want. You can spend all the money on that, but that's not necessary. Now, there has been a lot of research done into this, and so there's some factors. If you don't want to come into the office, you don't have to come in the office. You don't have to pay for any lab tests. You don't have to do any of that. There's some things you can do on your own, but if you want to be optimal, we want to look at the methylation pathways. But just so you know, if you want to do it on your own, the research has shown that these factors, if you do them, will improve the longevity or increase the longevity of a cell. And so this includes reducing the amount of time that you're eating during the day. So basically, intermittent fasting or caloric restriction has shown that you can live longer, or cells live longer. Decrease the amount of amino acids that you take in. So too much protein itself is stimulatory to mTOR, and so it throws off that balance to mTOR to autophagy, and we get abnormal cell function. The other factor is temperature. So extreme cold or colder temperatures or increased has shown to improve longevity. So if you want to do that, those are ways you can do on your own. Also, another one that I left out is avoiding radiation. So staying out of the sun for not having excess exposure to the sun, and also avoiding X-rays. Anything that causes radiation, limiting. So those are the factors you can do on your own to help. But the number one thing that you can do is impact these enzyme pathways. And so if you want, you can reach out to me. You can go to my website, protouchrehab.com, and we can actually go through your enzyme pathways and break it down, and you can have a deep understanding of your genetics and how your body functions and what you need. And every 6 months, it does change. So you might need more protein at one time, less another, more carbohydrates another, and that's how we do it.